Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today we are on board USS Yorktown, which is part of the collection at Patriots Point. And in particular, we're down on 5th deck on Yorktown in one of the bomb magazines, and this is an elevator shaft for one of the bomb elevators. We are on 5th deck. The bomb elevator will only get the ordnance up about 2 stories, and then you've got to cart it over to a separate elevator to get it up to either the hangar or the flight deck. An interesting feature of the mess decks on Essex-class aircraft carriers, and even still on carriers today, is that unlike Battleship New Jersey, where it's fixed McDonald's type seating, the tables and chairs here can move. That's very important. See this wide hatch behind me? There's a bomb elevator on that side going up from bomb stowage several decks below us. So you'd have to bring the bomb up, roll it around, and then look right here. The door for another bomb elevator continuing up to the hangar deck above us. Now, American carriers are pretty unique during World War II in that we don't just park our aircraft and rearm our aircraft in the hangar decks. We also keep a deck park on the flight deck to basically double the size of an American carrier air group. Aircraft carriers' main striking power is their air group, and a more powerful air group that can get off a first strike is the best way to defend a carrier. Carriers don't have anywhere near the level of armor of a battleship. If enemy aircraft or surface ships are able to get close, that becomes an issue. Now that said, the Essex class were certainly designed to take a punch, and some of them survived unbelievable damage that I don't believe any other class of carrier during World War II could have survived. Thinking of ships like Franklin and Bunker Hill that just suffered massive explosions, had significant numbers of casualties, and were able to sail under their own power back home and get repaired. Now, part of that design is not so much the significance of armor protection, but still keeping your magazines reasonably protected so that nothing can fall down a straight shaft to get there, like this. So that's why this only goes up 2 levels, and you've got to cross over to another elevator to get up to the hangars and the flight decks. And there were about 2 bomb elevators and a torpedo elevator heading up to the flight deck in this current configuration of Yorktown. She got a big modification post-war. But that means that a bomb can't just find its way into a bomb elevator from a lucky hit and go straight down to the magazine and destroy the ship. I can't think of a single American carrier during World War II that suffered a magazine explosion. And the thickest armor plate I can think of on any American World War II aircraft carrier is 7 inches. I'm fairly certain the thickest armor on an Essex class is only 4 inches, so it's not the armor protection that's saving you. Part of it is we're down here on 5th deck, so a bomb has to punch through the flight deck, the deck under that, the armored hangar, and then through all the decks of the hull to get down here. And part of that is there aren't any big openings to help a bomb find its way down. So here in the bomb elevator, we can see a couple of cool features. You've got the rails here that the elevator rides up and down, and we got big springs in the bottom that cushion it when it comes down to the right level. And then there's a well under it, so it's not coming down and smashing into the steel deck below. Battleship New Jersey has similar springs, although to a significantly smaller scale, on our dumbwaiter in the officer's galley. But otherwise, this is a really cool space for me because New Jersey doesn't have anything like this. We would have carried small bombs in some of the magazines around Turret 3 that could have armed our float planes during World War II. There weren't any elevators installed for those, so I'm not entirely sure how you get a 200-pound bomb or a 300-pound depth charge up from one of these magazines to there. I imagine it's just the same overhead rail that is in all the magazine spaces that they are using for loading ammunition in. So not a simple and easy process, but on an aircraft carrier, you've got to get a strike group of up to 80, 90, 100 aircraft that these ships can carry, armed and ready to take off at all relatively the same time, because you can't have some of your aircraft orbiting, waiting for the rest to be armed and go, and you can't launch your strike piecemeal because the enemy combat air patrol can chew it up if it comes in one squadron at a time. That's a lesson learned from Midway that was well known before that battle, but just how it ended up. As historians, it's easy to point at Midway and say, hey, a squadron of 18 planes comes in alone, it gets chewed up. You need the full strike group if you're attacking an enemy carrier group. So the operation of these bomb elevators, being able to quickly get ordnance up to both the hangar and the flight deck as quickly as possible, is huge for either single large strikes or high tempo operations like Essex-class carriers were involved in off Vietnam supporting the ground troops. And we still hear about this today, right? The Ford-class aircraft carriers, the big deal about them, they're roughly the same size as a Nimitz, but the big deal about them is their bomb elevators are supposed to be significantly faster so that you can do quicker turnarounds with a smaller number of aircraft. The aircraft are massively expensive, so even though it's got the same amount of space as before, it's not carrying anywhere near the 80, 90, 100 aircraft air group that you would have seen on a carrier during the Vietnam War or during World War II. So those aircraft have to be able to be reloaded and sent out as quickly as possible, and structures like these make that able to happen. On Iowa-class battleships, there's the big 1-ton yellow rail that goes down Broadway and through the magazine spaces where you can put a manual chain fall on and then push something along the rail manually. Well, we don't got nothing on an Essex-class aircraft carrier. Check out this overhead system with the oversized bicycle chain to help lift bombs up off of the racks and get them over here to the big gantry that can then take it to that bomb elevator. Again, you're able to pick stuff up really high tempo. This thing has a capacity of 3,300 pounds. So 1,000 and 2,000 pound bombs are not uncommon. Don't stop there. You can go a little bit heavier than that. Shoot, it's got a static load of 6,600 pounds if you don't have to move it around. And you can even overload it to just about 5,000 pounds according to the sign. So this baby means business. What design features of American aircraft carriers during World War II do you think made them the dominant force in the Pacific? Let us know in the comment section down below. I think that the elevators certainly contributed to that, but I don't know that American elevators were significantly better. The fact that our elevators go to the flight deck and we've got a deck park and we're able to load aircraft on multiple levels is what I think makes American carriers dominant. But let me know your thoughts down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals. You can support a museum ship by clicking on the link in the description below to help Patriots Point with their restoration of the ships like USS Yorktown that they have in their collection. They would appreciate your support, and tell them who sent you. There's also some links down there to their various social media links in case you'd like to see the content that they're putting out. You can support Battleship New Jersey by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about our museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.